Hello, welcome to Mountain Coffee Outdoors. I'm Gareth, and today I want to show you my little MSR Pocket Rocket 2 solo cook set. I've had this for a little while, tried it out on a number of trips out, and I have some thoughts for you about it. First up, I just want to say that I'm in no way sponsored by MSR or any company that sells these stoves. MSR is a company that makes this. Stands for Mountain Safety Research. I don't know if they even really go by that much anymore, but anyway, this is the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 solo cook set, and what it consists of is the little Pocket Rocket 2 gas canister stove inside a small little solo cook pot. So it comes in this little stuff sack. It's mostly mesh with some nylon on the bottom. So take this out. And it's all self-contained in this small little cylinder. I don't know, this is basically the size of a large can of pie filling is about the size of this. So it doesn't really take up a whole lot of room. It has a lid, and then inside you have your gas canister, small size gas canister, the stove, and a little pot grabber. So we'll take all this stuff out here. So I'll start with a pot. The pot has a little plastic cup on the bottom of it. In the plastic cup, it has volume graduations on there, so you can, if you need to measure out fluids, it's marked with ounces and milliliters on there. It's about a 14-ounce cup if you fill it to the top. But it fits on the bottom. Comes in handy. You can eat out of this or drink out of it. The pot itself is, I believe the full capacity of this pot, it's a 0.8 liter size pot. It has a fill line marked on of half a liter, I guess just for measurement purposes. It's anodized aluminum inside and out. Along the top here, it has this silicone gripper ring there. Helps you hold it when it's warm. The silicone itself heats up pretty well itself, so you do have to wait till it cools off a bit before you can handle it with that. But that comes in handy for holding the pot while it's warm. The lid has little holes so you can drain out if you cook some noodles or something. You can put the lid on there and drain the water out through the little holes there. The pot gripper has a little aluminum pot gripper, so you can pick the pot up when it's hot. The lid also has a little hole, a little gap there, so you can put the pot gripper through that with the lid still on it, which is a handy little feature. So the Pocket Rocket 2 stove itself is a very compact unit. It all folds down into this small little size here, and you just fold these all the little burner arms out. It's a bit like a puzzle though, rotating them just right here and there, because they're both pivots, and also they pivot in two directions. So there we have the stove folded out. And it just screws onto the gas canister, of course. And once it's on there, you know, the open and close the valve right here. So we have our stove. Pot goes right on top of the stove there, just like you would expect. And you can pick it up with a pot gripper, put it back on. Now one thing about this stove is that if you use the size of fuel canister that fits inside the pot, it's pretty narrow, and that fuel canister is your stove support. So the smaller the canister, the less stable this is going to be. I've often used this with a bigger fuel canister, which gives you more gas for one thing, and secondly, it gives you a wider base, so it's a little bit more stable. Because it is kind of a top-heavy unit going on when you have fluid in this pot. So you do have to watch, make sure you put it on level ground, make sure it's not rocking around or anything. My experience, I do think that this stove is a great small little solo type lightweight cook set. You know, you're not probably going to be doing a whole lot more than boiling water with this, but a lot of times that's probably all you really need. As in the case of a lot of gas canister stoves, you run into the problem where a lot of if there's a wind or a breeze, it blows a lot of the heat out from under your pot. In an ideal situation, you would have all that heat going straight up and heating your pot with the contents inside. A lot of times, you know, you have breeze coming in one side, a lot of your heat's going out the other. That's just kind of a drawback of this type of stove. It's not unique to this stove at all. And speaking of wind, with these stoves, MSR did something really great with these, in my opinion. What they did was they added this little metal piece here onto the burner. And what that does is when the stove is burning, if this piece wasn't on here, if a little gust of wind hit the stove, it basically just blows the flame out off of the burner, and then it's out. And then you have to relight it. Sometimes you have to relight it over and over again. With this little piece, what it allows for is if the wind blows and blows the flame out in one section of this, it'll still be going in one or two of the other sections, and then it'll just instantly relight. And I've tried this out in some wind, and it definitely came in handy. It definitely worked pretty well, actually. This is really a great little feature of this stove. So yes, I do think that the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 Solo Cook Set is a good little compact cook set for one person. If all you need to do is boil water. I've boiled a good deal of water in this thing. It worked great. You are dealing with a gas canister stove. That is in some ways convenient, and in some ways it might not be the most ideal type of stove for all conditions. It is a gas canister stove, which makes it very convenient from a lighting standpoint, and you know, turning it off and on is very, very simple. Now, if you're going to carry, obviously, if you're going on a trip that's of any length, you're going to probably be carrying more than just one of these little gas canisters. So, you know, you're going to have some extra gas canisters knocking around that aren't going to fit in here. Or if you have the space to spare, you might just be better off getting a bigger gas canister and skipping the small one, even though the bigger one won't fit in here. So that'll take up a little bit more room. But you could always stash some other stuff in here to kind of make up for the difference in your pack volume. But yeah, this is a really good little unit. I've been very happy with it. This joins my jet boil that I've had for quite a while now, as an option for when I go out solo backpacking and just need a small, lightweight, compact unit that doesn't take up much space and gets the job done. This will definitely fit the bill. I don't know if, I have a feeling that the you know, the burner in combination with the pot probably isn't as efficient as a jet boil, just because it's made to be a little bit more efficient with that flame. But this is still, you know, a great little unit, and definitely not a bad piece of gear. I hope you enjoyed this little review of the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 Solo Cook Set. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit like. Feel free to comment below, chime in with your thoughts if you've tried one of these out before. Subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell to get notifications for when I upload new videos. And until next time, this is Gareth with Mountain Coffee Outdoors.